What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here again, and today I have a video that I'm gonna be going over the new dungeon that I'm farming for the most part. Now I still do the 40 shard dungeon when I'm at work or I don't have a lot of time to actually do spells and things like that. But when I actually do have some time to sit down and do some dungeons, I actually do the new dungeon, which is Dungeon 7 Portal 10 of the Expert Dungeons, and I'm going to be basically showing you my lineup and what every hero's role will be in doing this. Now, the first one, of course, is going to be Druid because he heals. He makes your hero stay alive. So, of course, he's going to be essential. I don't think that Orc's Bane will be too good on this just because Orc's Bane's heal isn't very high. But I mean, I don't have workspace, so maybe that's not the case. But of course, I think everybody pretty much has Druid, so that's very good to have. Now, of course, I'm going to be using Moltanica to actually lead. That's the one that the boss will focus on first. And the reason I'm going to be using Moltanica first is because first of all, he has the highest HP on of any of my heroes, and his proc actually helps him survive longer. So it's just overall, it's just a great hero to have for this. Now the next one, of course, is going to be Minotaur because once everything gets charged up, he's the one that's going to be taking care of all the buildings. So he's very essential into this. Of course, Pumpkin Duke because he's the one that's going to get everything started and everything getting charged up. Cupid because obviously, Cupid just makes everybody else better, everybody proc faster, and the attack buff for Minnow to help destroy those buildings. So can't forget about that. Now, the wild card here is the Shaman. The Shaman is solely in there to lower the boss's damage. I could have chosen Succubus, but the Succubus proc actually takes a big chunk of the boss's HP. So I actually want the boss to live a little bit longer than usual, just because I need my heroes to get charged up on him, and if he dies too quickly, then that just won't work. So that's really the only reason that Shaman is in there, mainly over any other hero, just because of the debuff. Really, that's really all. But I mean, those are the heroes that I'm using at the moment for this. They might be better heroes overall, but these are the ones that are working. So, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But here we go. Let's go ahead and do one. I go to Expert. I go to Dungeon 7 and go all the way to the last one, which is the 57 shard dungeon. So right away when you go in here, you see the boss pretty much isolated in the middle. And the whole thing is just to drop your heroes right here and have them all charged up and have, blow the whole base up. Or maybe not the whole base, but pretty much cripple it to where you're pretty much safe after that. Now, if you drop your heroes anywhere near the left-hand side, you will actually start aggroing some of these heroes. So you definitely don't want to do that. Now, the first thing that I do is I'm going to be dropping GA somewhat right in front of the boss, and then I'm going to be dropping Frenzy. Now, once I see GA is about to expire, what I basically do is I drop down the heal just to give my heroes that little extra heal to stay alive. So let's go ahead and get this started and try this out. So I drop GA, there it is, and then I drop all my heroes. There he goes. Now they're stunned. So there they go. Alright, so there goes Montanica. He's trying to stay alive. There goes Minnow's first proc. Now they're all getting charged up, and now we're waiting for the Minnow's next proc. Boom. It's the whole thing is pretty much just shot. There it is. Minnow actually procced in the side, and we didn't even have to take out that last Reaper just because Minnow procced. I don't think it would have really mattered because my heroes were pretty charged up, so that Reaper would have died in a few hits. But there it is, 57 shards. It does take a bit of gold, but at the same time, at my might, I can raid bases that have 300, 400,000 gold all at once and raid it in a few seconds, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, of course, if I'm at work or something like that, I just drop them in the 40 shard dungeon and go, that way I don't have to worry too much about it. But you know, if I can sit down and do some dungeons, I'll basically just do this method because it's almost a 50% improvement over the 40 shard dungeon. Now I realize that a lot of people might not be able to do this dungeon, but I've been hearing a lot of people say that some of these new dungeons are not worth it, you don't get any better pay and whatnot, and that's simply not the case. I mean, granted, not everybody have the level of heroes that I have and the skill levels and all of that, but to say that there's no worthwhile dungeons, it's not the case at all. Now, if you want to be lazy at all times, then definitely yes, stick to the 40 shard dungeon. Or if you don't have the required heroes to farm any of the higher dungeons, then I would definitely still recommend to do the 40 shard dungeon because these dungeons are probably going to give you more headaches than anything. But if you have very powerful heroes, if you've reached Dungeon 7, that usually means that you have very powerful heroes anyways. So, I mean, give it a try. Try your own variation and see if you can find that one dungeon that just works for you. And when you have some time, drop some spells into a dungeon and get it done, you know? Just something different. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and until later. Bye.